It was a cold October night when Sarah and her friends decided to break into the old, abandoned hospital on the outskirts of town. No one had been inside for years, at least no one who came back with their mind intact. The stories were endless. People claimed to hear whispers, see shadows that moved on their own, and experience a suffocating sense of dread in the darkness. But Sarah didn't believe in ghost stories. She was the brave one in the group, always pushing her friends into adventures, daring them to face the unknown. So, armed with nothing but flashlights and shaky courage, they climbed over the rusted fence and ventured inside. The air inside was stale, thick with an eerie silence. Broken tiles crunched under their feet, and the beams of their flashlights flickered weakly as they illuminated the decaying walls. There was an unsettling calm, as if the building itself were holding its breath, waiting. They wandered through the empty halls, past shattered windows and crumbling equipment, joking to mask their growing fear. Then they heard it. A faint whisper, soft but unmistakable. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, her voice barely louder than a whisper. Her friends nodded, their eyes wide. The sound seemed to come from deeper within the hospital. Without thinking, Sarah led them toward it, her curiosity overtaking her fear. The whispers grew louder, more distinct, as if someone or something was speaking just around the corner. But when they reached the source, there was no one there, only shadows. And then it happened. The shadows started to move, swirling unnaturally in the corners of the room. The temperature plummeted, and their breath became visible in the frigid air. The whispers turned into words, terrible, bone-chilling words that echoed in their minds. "We see you. We know your secrets." Sarah's flashlight flickered again, then went out completely. The others tried to turn on their phones, but the screens were dead. Panic gripped them. Suddenly, something cold brushed against Sarah's arm. She gasped and turned to find one of the shadows had stretched out from the wall, its dark form shifting and writhing. It whispered her name, the voice low and guttural. "Sarah!" she screamed, but the sound seemed swallowed by the oppressive silence. Her friends were frozen in place, their eyes wide in terror as the shadows wrapped around their ankles, pulling them closer to the walls. One by one, they were dragged into the darkness, their screams muffled by the whispering voices. Sarah tried to run, but her feet wouldn't move. The shadows slithered up her legs, cold and relentless. The last thing she heard before the darkness consumed her was the whisper, "You belong to us now." Weeks later, a police search found the hospital, but they discovered nothing but an abandoned, decaying building. Sarah and her friends were never found, but the whispers never stopped. And if you stand outside the hospital on a quiet night, you might just hear them too, calling your name.